Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for joining us on Velayat News. I'm Abru Sabzwari, and now a look at the headlines for today. The U.S. Senate panel gives green light for military force in Syria. Gunmen attack 2 Shia families, killing 16 in Iraq. Brazil's Rousseff wants U.S. apology for NSA spying. Russia releases key findings on chemical attacks similar to rebel-made weapons. Al-Aqsa Mosque witnessing the most serious stage. Indonesian minister supports forcing Shias to convert to Sunni Islam. M23 rebels impose unacceptable curfew in eastern Congo. And now, the news in detail. A Senate panel has voted to give President Barack Obama the authority to use military force against Syria. The resolution, which authorizes the Obama administration to launch a military strike on Syria, is expected to come before the 2 chambers of Congress for a final vote next week. According to the resolution, President Obama's tailored military action should not engage American soldiers for ground military missions and exceed 90 days. The vote is the first after American lawmakers gave President George W. Bush the authority to invade Iraq back in October 2002.
How can we be sure that if he's removed from power, no one equals?
The fact that we have waited so long.
The fate of the resolution, however, is in the balance in the Congress, as many lawmakers have not yet supported the measure. Only 21 senators have so far put their weight behind the bill. The Wednesday vote came after U.S. Secretary of State John Kerry briefed the committee behind closed doors. During the meeting, Kerry revealed that certain Arab countries have offered to help pay for any U.S. military action in Syria. Gunmen shot dead at least 16 members of a Shia Muslim family before blowing up their 2 neighboring homes south of the Iraqi capital overnight. The attack took place in the town of Latafiya, around 25 miles from Baghdad, in a volatile area known as the Triangle of Death. Sunni militants who view Shias as apostates have been regaining momentum in their insurgency and striking with a ferocity not seen in years. More than 2 years of civil war in neighboring Syria have aggravated deep-rooted sectarian divisions in Iraq, fraying an uneasy government coalition of Shia, Sunni, and ethnic Kurdish factions. About 800 Iraqis were killed in August, according to the United Nations, with more than a third of the attacks in Baghdad. The bloodshed 18 months after U.S. troops withdrew from Iraq has stirred concerns about a return to the sectarian slaughter of 2006-7, when the monthly death toll sometimes topped 3,000. Furious about a report that the U.S. government spied on her private communications, Brazilian President Dilma Rousseff may cancel a planned White House visit and downgrade commercial ties unless she receives a public apology. A Brazilian news program reported on Sunday that the U.S. National Security Agency spied on emails, phone calls, and text messages of Rousseff and Mexican President Enrique Pena Nieto. The report by Globo TV was based on documents leaked by fugitive former NSA contractor Edward Snowden. The visit, which is the only such invitation extended by Obama this year, was meant to highlight a recent improvement in relations between the 2 biggest economies in the Americas, as well as Brazil's emergence over the past decade as a vibrant economy and regional power. On Monday, Rousseff's foreign minister demanded a written response to the global report from the U.S. government by the end of this week. A foreign ministry official told Reuters there had been no response by Wednesday afternoon. According to the Russian Foreign Ministry, probes from Khan al-Assal show chemicals used in the March 19th attack did not belong to standard Syrian army ammunition, and that the shell carrying the substance was similar to those made by a rebel fighter group. A statement released by the ministry on Wednesday particularly drew attention to the massive stovepiping of various information aimed at placing the responsibility for the alleged chemical weapons use in Syria on Damascus, even though the results of the UN investigation have not yet been revealed. The ministry pointed out that by such means the way is being paved for military action against Damascus. The findings of the 100-page report are extremely specific, as they mostly consist of scientific and technical data from probes analysis, adding that this data can substantially aid the UN investigation of the incident. Media spokesman for Al-Aqsa Foundation for Endowment and Heritage, Mahmoud Abu Atta, said the Islamic movement in the 1948 territories continues preparations to organize massive marches to the Aqsa Mosque on Wednesday morning, despite the arrest of its leader, Sheikh Raed Salah. Abu Atta told Quds Press that a media campaign was launched to call on the worshippers to flock to Al-Aqsa Mosque, and that his foundation, in addition to Biotic Foundation and Building Al-Aqsa Foundation, are preparing to send hundreds of worshippers to defend it against the Israeli calls for raiding and desecrating it on the occasion of the Jewish holidays. Abu Atta stressed that there is a clear escalation in Israeli raids into Al-Aqsa, as they have not stopped since the end of the month of Ramadan. The spokesman of the Al-Aqsa Foundation expected that the number of intruders in Al-Aqsa Mosque will increase in the coming days. He called on the Arab and Islamic countries and the Palestinians to take serious and urgent action in order to protect Al-Aqsa Mosque. Religious Affairs Minister Surya Dharma Ali has come under fire again in Indonesia for allegedly supporting the forced conversion of Shia followers to Sunni Islam in a reconciliation program the government claimed was meant to end the conflict between the two Islamic denominations. Human rights activists accused the minister of failing to put aside his personal beliefs in the reconciliation process and demanded that President Susilo Yudhoyono disengage him from the efforts to return the Shia refugees. Weeks after Shias were evicted from their home villages in Sampang in June this year, President Yudhoyono assigned the Religious Affairs Ministry to lead the reconciliation process. However, Hertasning said that Surya Dharma and his fellow United Development Party politician Jan Farids, who is also the public housing minister, attended meetings where the Shias were forced to denounce their faith if they wished to safely return to their villages. According to Hertznaning, 34 out of around 235 Shias evicted from Sampang have returned to their homes by August 7th, as they finally agreed to sign a pledge of 9 points, which included willingness to return to the true teaching of Islam, as well as to condemn the teachings of Shia cleric Tajul Muluk, who is currently imprisoned over blasphemy. The United Nations says M23 rebels have enforced an unacceptable curfew in areas under their control in the east of the Democratic Republic of Congo. According to the UN mission in Congo, the M23, which in practice controls the territory of Rutshuru north of Goma, has imposed a curfew on civilians. Wednesday, earlier in the day, UN Special Envoy to Congo Mary Robinson said that the peace talks between the Congolese government and the M23 rebels could yet succeed, adding the negotiations were not at a deadlock.
Okay.
On August 31st, M23 rebels warned that they will resume fighting in the east of the country if the government refuses to halt its military offensive and start negotiations. Since early May 2012, nearly 3 million people have fled their homes in eastern Congo. About 2.5 million have resettled in Congo, but about 500,000 have crossed into neighboring Rwanda and Uganda. And that brings us to the end of our bulletin today. Please also remember to stay tuned to Velayat TV at 7 p.m. Pacific time for Salam Ya Hussein with Hujjatul Islam Maulana Sayyid Zahirul Hasan Naqvi for the special 5-day live transmission from the holy shrine of Imam Hussein alayhi salam in Karbala, Iraq. And if you'd like to contribute your community's news, you can email us at news@velayattv.org. You can also get the latest headlines and more by visiting our website, velayattv.org, or subscribe to and follow us on our YouTube and Facebook pages, Velayat TV USA. Many thanks for joining us. Till next time, I'm Abru Sabzwari, fi amanillah.